Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate and today I am trying alternate day fasting, which is a type of intermittent fasting, and I'm really excited about it, so let's talk about it. Before I really get into depth about what this is and how you do it, I just want to say if you are someone that has struggled with an eating disorder in the past, if you have negative emotions and thoughts about withholding food, this is not the diet for you. Be careful with choosing to do this diet. It can be very healthy, especially for people that have a lot of weight to lose. But if you don't have a lot of weight to lose, or if you think this can negatively affect your psyche at all, don't do this diet. So basically, alternate day fasting is where you eat one day and then you fast the next day. You're alternating the days that you're eating and the days that you're fasting. And when you fast, you can drink water, you can drink unsweetened tea, you can drink unsweetened coffee. And when you eat, you can eat basically whatever you want. Some people do pair this way of eating with keto because it's easier to stay in a fat burning mode if you're eating keto during your fasting time frames, but that's totally not necessary. You can do this without eating keto and you can eat whatever you want on the days that you eat. There are actually two different ways to do alternate day fasting. And this was pretty confusing to me at first. I was really confused why people were doing so many different time frames. So I'm just going to talk about that really quick. One way to do alternate day fasting is to do something called modified alternate day fasting. And that is where you are fasting for 24 hours. However, you eat one meal throughout the day that's 500 calories. And you can actually spread out that meal throughout the day and eat 500 calories throughout the day that you're fasting. But I don't recommend doing it that way. If you're eating small portions throughout the day, it's going to make you hungrier. It's going to make you continually think about eating and think about food. Hunger kind of comes in waves, and if you just wait to eat 500 calories at one point during the day, that your hunger kind of goes away. So this is how it works. Say you start fasting at 7 p.m. So you fast all day long, you skip breakfast, you skip lunch, you skip dinner, and then you end your fast at 7 p.m. Then that means you're going to eat after 7 p.m., which is basically dinner anyway. So you're not really skipping dinner, you're skipping breakfast and lunch, but you are fasting 24 hours. So that's the way to do it, is you fast your 24 hours and then you eat a small meal of about 500 calories at the end of your fast. The other way to do alternate day fasting is what's called a true alternate day fast, and that ends up being actually a fast between 36 and 40 hours. And so this way of fasting, say you start fasting at 7 p.m., so you'd fast throughout the night, and then you would fast breakfast, lunch, and dinner the following day. So you would actually fast the 3 whole meals throughout that full day, and then you would start eating the next morning for breakfast. So that turns into around 36 to 40 hours of fasting and 3 full meals that you're skipping. With fasting, it can be really smart to start slow and then build up. So if you're someone that hasn't really had experience with fasting, you could start with like a 16-hour fast and then work your way up to like a 24-hour fast and then up to the 36 and the 40-hour fast. I have done a lot of fasting in the past. I've done intermittent fasting and I've done the warrior diet and different things. So I'm going to start with a 24-hour fast, and then I'm going to eat my meal after that. And for the first week, I'm not going to restrict my calories. I'm going to fast 24 hours and then I'm going to eat a meal and then go into my eating day. And I'm going to do that for a week, and then after a week I'm going to start restricting that meal to 500 calories, I think. This is hypothetical. I'm going to kind of listen to my body, but this is my plan right now. And then after I kind of get more comfortable with that, I'm going to move into doing a true alternate day fast where I'm fasting 36 to 40 hours, and on my fast day I'm not going to be eating anything. So whether you do modified or true alternate day fasting depends a lot on how you are affected psychologically. There's been studies where they've kind of determined that it doesn't make a big difference whether you do one way or the other. It just kind of depends on how you feel mentally. Many people actually prefer not even thinking about food on the day that they're fasting. So when you're doing a modified approach, you're like thinking about what am I going to eat for my meal, and I can't wait till I eat my meal. But with true fasting, with true alternate day fasting, you don't even think about eating at all because you know you're not going to eat throughout that whole day. So you're not worried about it and you're not obsessing about it and you're not thinking about it. So my plan going forward is I'm going to start with a modified alternate day fasting. I am going to skip 2 meals a day, and then I'm going to eat a smaller portion meal for dinner. And I'm actually not going to count my calories at first. I'm going to go a week doing this, not restricting myself and not counting my calories. And then in the next week, I'm going to add in that 500 calorie restriction for my meal. And I'm going to go probably about a week, depending on how I'm feeling, eating that way. And then I'm going to transition to true alternate day fasting. Now, some positives and reasons to do alternate day fasting. Many people actually find it easier than calorie restriction because you're only depriving yourself half of the time. The rest of the time you can like literally eat what you want. So a lot of people prefer fasting and alternate day fasting over calorie restriction. When you're restricting your calories, oftentimes you find yourself hungrier because you're eating consistently throughout the day typically. So the hormones that are responsible for how hungry you are, your leptin and your ghrelin, actually have more favorable changes when fasting over calorie restriction. And this has to do a lot with your insulin levels and things like that. I would really recommend, if you're interested in the science behind this, to read the book, The Obesity Code by Dr. Fung. I actually did a video about it, and I'll link that, where you can kind of learn more about the science of fasting and why it's healthy and why it's favorable over calorie restriction and why it's more effective in the long term. They have done a lot of studies on this. There was a study that showed that after 24 weeks, people that did alternate day fasting preserved more muscle mass and lost more fat than people that were doing calorie restriction. And it has been proven that when you fast, you retain more muscle mass than when you restrict calories throughout the day. And most people say actually after 1 to 2 weeks of fasting that your hunger diminishes while you're fasting and it becomes nearly effortless. So hopefully that's what will happen. I don't know for sure. I did do some intermittent fasting. You can watch my videos on that. I actually found it quite easy, like especially the further along I got. And I actually really enjoyed that way of eating. So I'm really excited about doing this again and jumping into that again. Fasting can potentially help insulin resistance and help type 2 diabetes and heart health, and it also starts a process called autophagy, and autophagy literally means self-eating, and basically what it does is it's a recycle system. When your body's not getting the protein that it needs and all of the calories that it needs, it actually starts going after your cells that are damaged, and it kind of recycles your old cells that are not operating like correctly, and it eats those cells and recycles them in your body. So it's actually a really cool system that your body is made to do. And I'm going to make a whole video about this in the future because it's actually really cool. But it has the potential to help with cancer and neurodegeneration and heart disease and infections. And it's actually been proven to slow the aging process. So watch for that video in the future, but know that autophagy is started when you fast, and that is a very valuable and beneficial thing for your health. So check out my other videos on fasting and the science behind why you should fast and why it's beneficial for you and how it can really help you lose weight. Thanks so much for watching my videos. Thanks for being a part of my channel. Thanks for your support on my last video where I talked about my mental health and about issues with dieting, and I've received a lot of support and comments about that. And also in my day-to-day life, I've had a lot of people reach out and tell me that they also experience symptoms of seasonal affective disorder, and I've really felt understood, and I've really enjoyed connecting with people about that and finding other people that have a similar issue. So thanks for reaching out to me. That means a lot. And thanks for watching. Talk to you next time. Bye bye.